I absolutely love eggs. They're one of the only foods I eat every single day. So in this video, we're gonna try to add cornstarch, milk, and water to scrambled eggs, and we're gonna run a test and see how it impacts the flavor, the texture to make the best scrambled eggs. For the full ingredient list, check the description box below, but enough talking, let's get cooking. So I've lined up all of my bowls. We're gonna do 2 scrambled eggs for each test. How do these change the color, texture, and taste of the eggs? So first, let's start off with our milk. Ratios for milk with scrambled eggs are all over the place. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go 1 tablespoon per egg, so 2 tablespoons in here total. 1 and 2. And then we're also gonna add a pinch of salt. And I'm gonna beat these eggs until the yolks are well incorporated. I'm gonna try not to overbeat them, but once I notice that there's no yellow marks in there and then the whole thing is uniformly yellow, I'll know that I've gone far enough. One of the things we're trying to do when we're scrambled is try to incorporate some air into the eggs by pulling up the eggs. How I like to beat the eggs is I tilt the bowl on the side and I'll use my fork to beat some air into those eggs. Good. The next one we're gonna do is some water. The theory behind this is that the water will evaporate and add moisture and air and fluffiness to the eggs. So we're gonna use the same ratio. We're gonna go about 1 tablespoon per egg, so 2 tablespoons of water into the scrambled eggs. 1 and 2. A little pinch of salt. And you can use a whisk to beat your eggs. I like to use a fork, and I wanted to use a fork in this video because it's probably the most common way that I see people use it. Not everybody takes the whisk out. Everybody's got a fork. So next up is our cornstarch. The cornstarch we're just not gonna throw in the eggs. We're gonna make a slurry. We're gonna mix it water. So we're gonna go 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch with 1 tablespoon of water, and we're gonna do that twice. So we're gonna go 1 teaspoon of cornstarch with 2 tablespoons of water. Here we're gonna put 1 teaspoon cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water. And I didn't get any shards of egg inside there. Let's say a little shard fell inside of our scrambled eggs. The best way to do it is using the edge of the shell to remove it. And you can see how easily I pulled out that little shell. I wanted to show that, but it didn't happen, but now I showed it, so we're good. Let's add our slurry of cornstarch and water. Kind of looks like milk. Pinch of salt. So now, even before we cook them, you can definitely see a difference that the cornstarch and the milk ones are a little more pale yellow, whereas the water didn't change the color much, and it's a little bit more orangey or yellow, because we use those nice pasture-raised eggs. They got really deep yellow color inside that yolk. But now let's cook them, and let's see what the difference is between the texture and the taste. So we're gonna add about 1/2 tablespoon of butter. Butter is gonna be our cooking oil for this test because it's the most common thing used to make scrambled eggs. We're making sure that we're gonna melt down the butter, but it doesn't brown. First up is our milk. And now to make scrambled eggs, we don't want to overmix them. I like my eggs just a little chunky. I don't want them super runny like Gordon Ramsay. So I'm just gonna keep pushing them off to the middle. And as the egg curdles, we're just gonna create more layers, and we're just gonna keep making those layers. In my scrambled eggs, I don't want any browning either. So I'm gonna keep it this medium to medium low heat, and these things are done in seconds. And I'm gonna keep moving them around without breaking them up too much. Again, I don't like my eggs super creamy. I want them to have some texture on them. I wanna be able to eat them with a fork and not a spoon. And we wanna make sure we don't overcook them. So they're gonna cook really, really fast. These are done. Perfect. So once again, I'm gonna melt the butter. Next up is water. And we're gonna do the same thing as the egg cooks and starts to solidify. We'll push it to the center, making all these nice folds. And I'm trying to move all the different parts. Let me know in the comment section if you like to have a browning on your scrambled eggs. I definitely do not. But I definitely don't want them overcooked, and I don't want them too runny. Even just moving this around in the pan, the water definitely made it maybe just a touch fluffier. It feels a little fluffier, even though I'm not eating it. These are also done too. Last but not least, we're gonna do our cornstarch one more time, melt down the butter, in goes our eggs. We're gonna finish it off with just another sprinkle of salt on the top of each one. Not much because there's already salt in the eggs, but I like to finish them with just a little bit more salt. So they all look about the same. So even though there was a noticeable difference in color between the milk and the cornstarch ones and the water ones, if you put these on a plate in front of me, I really wouldn't notice that the water ones have a little bit more yellow color to them. These two are slightly more pale because I add that little bit of that white color. Looks are rarely what we're looking for with scrambled eggs. Now let's check the texture and the taste. So first up is our milk with the scrambled eggs. So if I just look at the texture of it, it's pretty unremarkable. Looks like scrambled eggs. Tastes yummy. Tastes like scrambled eggs that I make every single day. The texture is light and fluffy. If these were served to me at a diner, I'd be very happy with what I got. I don't have much to compare them to, so let's check out our other eggs and let's see how they did against the milk. Next up is our eggs that were made with water. The texture is very similar, but I would say the eggs got a little bit more of a jiggle to them. They're not as stiff as those milk-based eggs. The flavor is more eggy, which I kind of like. I don't like how like the milk dulled the flavor of the egg. Maybe added a little bit of creaminess, but it didn't taste much milk. It didn't taste as eggy as these do. These taste very eggy, and they're still very fluffy. Last up is our cornstarch eggs. So these don't have much of a jiggle to them. They kind of similar to like the milk. I don't know if I use too much cornstarch, but I could definitely taste it a little bit. And these taste a little starchy. The silkiness is not much. I don't really feel a whole lot of difference in texture. I'm gonna bring them all back out and I wanna try them like simultaneously to see if I can taste any difference in between them, because they really all taste really, really similar. This one tastes slightly off. So let me see, milk. Good texture, good flavor of eggs. Water. Really similar texture, probably better egg flavor. Cornstarch. I could taste the cornstarch in here. Maybe I should have used a little less, but I don't really think it added much silkiness. That's what it's supposed to add, is some silkiness texture. I've never used it before. I saw it on an Instagram reel. Back to the milk. Water. Cornstarch. There wasn't really nothing remarkable here. So I'm gonna say that either like the milk or the water was the best, and I guess put whatever it is that you'd like and you have in the house. Everybody's got water, so might as well just use the water. And cornstarch was a little off. I'm not too sure that there's anything there. Let me know in the comment section if you've ever added cornstarch to your eggs and if you do that regularly. If you like this video, check out my potato chip omelet video or my crispy eggs. Those are really two awesome breakfast and egg related videos that I'm sure you'll love. Thank you.